Hello everyone, welcome back to Jessica Jones Reviews. On this episode, we're taking a look at episode 6, aka You're a Winner. I love the titles of these episodes. Okay, yeah, this is a big improvement over the last episode. I mean, I kind of talked about the last one, kind of feels like it slowed down the momentum a bit. It feels like it was kind of padding, it felt more padded out than all the other episodes. This one just dives right into some very, very dark and material, and one's like, holy shit. Okay, so I'm gonna get a brief synopsis before I get into the nitty-gritty. So basically, this episode starts right off the bat with the way the last episode ended, and admittedly a plotline I forgot about in the last episode, where Hope, the one who killed her parents and is being held in jail, reason Jessica Jones is going through all this shit, got beat up in prison the other day, and it turns out the reason why she did that is because she found out she's pregnant with Kilgrave's child. Right off the bat, that was like a moment where I hear it's like, I'm pregnant. It was like, I just felt like my asshole just involuntarily clamped shut, because the topic of, child produced because of rape is a bit controversial, to say the least. And it's almost like, wow, okay, just start right up there with that. Okay, that's ballsy. All right. So after that little bombshell happens, we go over to, not only that, she desperately wants to abort the baby. Even more controversial. This is just not, I will give this show a lot of credit in the fact that it's just not afraid to just dive right into this topic, and is willing to just explore every facet of it, no matter how dark and disturbing it gets. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute, because there's a lot to talk about in this episode. Meanwhile, Luke Cage comes back, and might I just say, I don't know where they found the guy to play Luke Cage, but he is fucking perfect. He is absolutely perfect as Luke Cage, and I can't wait for his own series to come out. But anyway, Luke Cage comes in because he wants to hire Jessica Jones, despite their conflicted history, because he's looking for somebody, he's looking for the brother of somebody who can, long story short, prove that his wife's death, which was actually caused by Jessica Jones, wasn't an accident. Naturally, Jessica Jones is a little conflicted on this, but she doesn't tell him that that she's the one that caused it up until the very end of the episode. After shit happens, it turns out that Luke Cage finds out the bus driver was drunk, the one that was supposedly hit his wife, so he goes on a manhunt for him, and Jessica Jones steps in the last minute and tells her, no, it was me, I was under Kilgrave's control, this is what happened. At this point, Luke Cage also has been brought up to speed with the whole Kilgrave situation, and right there you have a very just wonderfully complex dynamic. This plot synopsis is a lot shorter than I've done in the past, because this episode I think is probably my favorite so far, because it doesn't really have that many characters in it, and I think that's one of the strengths of the episode. I think I mentioned in the last episode that, okay, cool. Sorry, I just got a text message. Is the fact that a lot of the times the show is just trying to balance a lot of different side characters at the same time, and I'm worried that sometimes I could bog the show down. This one keeps it down to only, I think, the bare minimum that this show will ever really do. I mean, you have Hogarth, you have Hope, you have Luke Cage, and you have Malcolm, but even then, they don't really play that much of a role in this episode. Well, I mean, Hope and Hogarth do, but the main focus is on Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and they have such great chemistry, and they work so well together that every scene they're in together is just like, okay, this is a lot of fun, this is great dynamic, and I love that the show does a fantastic job in Kilgrave's on the similar substitute, I forgot about that. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's its own topic altogether. So, the show does a great job of just building these complex moral and ethical issues, and it's not afraid to go into them to its full extent. Like, for example, like the main Luke Cage drama for this. Damn, my phone keeps buzzing off. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep having this on when I do these reviews. I'm gonna put on Do Not Disturb. Okay, there we go. Alright. So, because on this point, it's like, Jessica Jones knows that he can save a whole lot of trouble by just telling him the truth, but he would lose him in the process, because it's such a complicated situation, because it wasn't her fault, and yet she still feels guilty for doing it. She still blames herself for doing it, even though that, she had no control. It wasn't her fault. It also turns out the reason why she killed his wife is because Kilgrave, that she had something Kilgrave wanted, and after he got it, he, Just finish the bitch off. More his words than mine, although, you know what I'm trying to say. So it goes like, does she tell him that and relieve him a lot of pain, or does he try to keep it a secret, try to get away with it? And it's only until that Luke Cage is actually going to kill someone else for what's essentially something that she caused, that she finally steps in and says it. And I love that they went that round. I mean, I'm not a big fan of hiding the secrets and doing all that stuff, because we usually predict where that storyline is going to go. But I will admit that this show did it a little differently, and mostly in Luke Cage's response, because it is such a complicated situation, and you can tell that it's such a complicated situation just in his response alone, because he knows that it's not her fault, that he didn't do that she didn't directly do that on purpose. She was under Kilgrave's influence. But at the same time, he's still like, on a subconscious level, still blames her for her death, but at the same time is also mad that she knew that and still fucked him. And still had sex with him repeatedly on several different occasions. And there's this great feeling. I'm noticing more and more as the series goes on, there's this great overarching theme of violation, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, or... Yeah, I mean, like, those big three things. And it's one of those things where just, like, every character just experiences it differently and has a different reaction, but the same theme of hurt and damage is consistent throughout. And the way these characters embark on those journeys and the way that they deal with it is so fascinating to watch to me. It is so fascinating, it's so realistic, I think, within the context of these situations. Like, you have Hope, who feels violated because she's pregnant with her rapist baby. I mean, how does that... It makes you feel violated in your own body. You have Luke Cage, who feels violated because, more or less, he slept with your wife's killer. I mean, that's incredibly complex right there. And you have Kilgrave, who is also in this episode, who, again, another very complex character. I'm dying to know what they do with him. David Tennant just clearly having a blast in this role. But he goes out and he buys the house where Jessica grew up in, and he's just sit there, and his obsession with her, and it's just the way he just like almost kind of idolizes her, like she can almost do no wrong, despite the fact that she's actively going after him. But the scene in the end of the episode where he peels over like some old wallpaper and he sees like just Jessica Jones like growing charts, like, you know, like I don't know what you call them, but like what's it like? I'm blanking on the word, but you know, just that age growth chart we've all had when we were a kid. And he just stares and he's this creepy fucking smile in his face, and it's clear he's just absolutely fucking obsessed. And it's another way of just violating your childhood, and it's the creepiest fucking way. That really just everything. Everyone in this movie has just been... the show has just been violated in one way or another. And everyone has a unique reaction to it. That's why I love, like, even the scenes with Malcolm and the support group are great, too. Because they've all been violated in their own way. They have their own effect to it. Like, Malcolm at the beginning of the episode says, you know, there's almost a kind of a strange relief to being under his control, because this means you're not responsible for anything. And that's another great point, too. Everyone has a unique reaction. Everyone has a unique mindset. But at the same time, the theme of pain and... It's just very complicated. It's very complicated. It's very interesting. And it's just really insanely ballsy for Marvel to do. I can't think of a superhero project that's, even like I would say Watchmen, has gone to themes like this. And I love the fact they're taking that chance. It's a huge risk to take. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it has not met with as much controversy as this show very easily could have. So yeah, marvelous episode. I think it's one of my favorites. I'm sure there's more I could probably talk about, but at the same time, it's like, this is really just one episode you should go see for yourself, because it's marvelous. I loved it. I hope Luke Cage comes back in the near future. Naturally, though, there might be some issues with that. I did catch one kind of blink and you miss a comic book reference to White Tiger. Because when Luke Cage comes in, he says like, "I want to hire you." He's like, "Oh no, I'll refer you to another PI who's pretty good. Her name is Angela Dattoro." As soon as I heard the name, I was like, "That's way too specific. I'm gonna Google that," and I did. Turns out it was like another superhero named White Tiger. So apparently, all just superheroes, even the obscure ones, just fucking know each other, because you know comics. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this episode. Really loved it. Really think it was fascinating. Big improvement over the last episode. So I can't wait to see what the next one brings. So thank you all for watching. See you all next time.